What is coronavirus and what should you do? In December 2019, the public health officials of China reported to the World Health Organization that there had been a problem. An unknown and comparatively new virus was causing pneumonia-like disease in the city of Wuhan. Soon, the virus made headlines throughout the globe because of its unprecedented scale of transmission. The specialists were quick to determine that it was a new form of coronavirus that was spreading rapidly through and outside of Wuhan. This was the first time when the name coronavirus came to light. It's been almost a year and a half since the first known case of coronavirus was found in Wuhan, China. From there, it has spread to 222 countries, infecting over 149 million people and caused 3 million deaths so far. So, what is this new version of coronavirus and how actually does it affect us? Stay till the end to find out more. Coronaviruses are a family of viruses that can cause a wide range of diseases, from the typical cold to COVID-19. These viruses are coated in little protein spikes that look like a crown or corona in Latin. They typically affect our respiratory system but can harm other systems too. There are hundreds of verified coronaviruses and 7 of them infect humans. Coronaviruses are quite common in animals of all kinds, but they can often evolve into forms that can infect humans. Since the start of this century, 2 other coronaviruses have affected humans, causing the MERS outbreak in 2012 and the SARS outbreak in 2002. This newly discovered coronavirus was one of the 7 known to infect humans. It typically affects both the upper respiratory tracts such as sinuses, nose, and throat, or in severe cases, the lower respiratory tract, which includes the windpipe and lungs. The World Health Organization announced the coronavirus situation as a global emergency in January 2020 and a full-force pandemic in mid-March. We expect the pandemic to end soon, but some experts now say the virus may become endemic and be around in a less lethal form. We don't know exactly how or when the virus jumped from bats to humans, but efforts are taking place to trace back its origin. The new coronavirus, or officially known as SARS-CoV-2, can intrude on your body when you come into contact with someone who's carrying the virus. The virus is known to spread quickly inside contained environments. Early evidence suggested that, like other coronaviruses, this new variation too can jump among people who are at a very close distance from each other. It can also spread when a COVID patient coughs. Coughing and sneezing create little droplets of mucus and saliva. If these droplets go into another person's eyes, mouth, or nose, they can get infected too. The viruses in those little droplets can also drop onto surfaces like desks or doorknobs. If someone touches that contaminated surface, then rubs their eyes, mouth, or nose, they can also get the virus. The tiniest parts of those droplets can also remain in the air for some time. Anyone can get infected by these lingering droplets. Scientists still don't understand how often that actually happens. That's why being inside a poorly ventilated room can be dangerous. Coronaviruses are large, single-stranded RNA viruses with crown-like protein spikes on their exteriors. These spikes help them to attach and enter cells. Once the virus penetrates the body, it first attacks the cells lining our nose, throat, and sinus cavity and transforms them into factories that spit out massive numbers of new viruses that invade even more healthy cells. At this initial stage, you won't feel sick, and some people never show symptoms of any kind. But in the meantime, they can spread it to others. The effects of coronavirus can be mild to severe. In mild cases, 8 out of 10 people will show symptoms like fever, headache, and dry cough. But these symptoms can vary from person to person in the early stage. The fever and tiredness are signs that your immune system is responding to the infection. It has recognized the virus as a hostile intruder and starts sending signals to the rest of the body by releasing chemicals called cytokines. This immune response can also cause body aches, pain, and fever. These symptoms can be treated with simple bed rest, plenty of fluids, and paracetamol. Nearly 80% of confirmed COVID cases are mild, and most of the time, these patients don't require any special treatment. Within 2 weeks, most patients will recover since their immune system fought off the virus. A more serious form of COVID-19 can develop if the immune system can't suppress the virus within the first week or so. Now, the virus can move down into your lungs. There, it starts attacking healthy cells that line alveoli. This can even lead to pneumonia, which is an infection of tiny air sacs inside your lung called alveoli. This is where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide happens, but in pneumonia, these tiny sacs fill with fluid and eventually result in a shortness of breath. Most patients in this stage show improvement in a week or two, but it can take longer for some. 5% of COVID patients will witness the catastrophic effects of the virus. As the infection gets worse, our body starts to fail. The problem occurs when the immune system goes out of control and starts causing damage throughout the body. Doctors call this a cytokine storm. It can even lead to septic shock, where the blood pressure falls dangerously low and multiple organs start failing. Acute respiratory distress syndrome, or ARDS, may also occur. In ARDS, pneumonia gets more critical, with symptoms like rapid breathing, dizziness, and sweating. As the infection starts harming the tissues and blood vessels in your alveoli, the natural lung functions get jeopardized, causing a low oxygen level in the blood. That means the lung, now, cannot supply enough oxygen to other organs. This can result in your kidneys, lungs, and liver to shut down. A chest X-ray or CT scan may show how much of the lung is affected, and getting little or no air at all. Most of the patients who get ARDS will need help breathing, which may include intubation and mechanical ventilation. This too can double the risk of lung injuries. Around half of the people who are critically ill will die from the virus. So far, specialists say that about 1% of people who get sick with COVID-19 will die. However, it is still too early to say for sure how often it becomes fatal. In the US alone, around 5% of people with confirmed COVID-19 cases have died, but this number doesn't include the people who didn't know they were infected or who weren't able to get tested. Older adults and people with certain conditions which compromise their immune systems have a higher risk of developing serious illness from COVID-19. Unfortunately, there is currently no cure for any viral infection, and viruses do not tend to respond to antibiotics. Therefore, doctors recommend managing the mild symptoms of these infections at home using over-the-counter pain relief and cough medicines. They sometimes recommend antiviral or other medications to slow the growth of the disease and reduce the risk of severe illness. But anyone with severe symptoms will need immediate hospitalization, including oxygen therapy, drugs to reduce inflammation, such as corticosteroids, and other therapies to manage complications. Multiple vaccines are now available to help reduce the risk of developing COVID-19, but there is a major concern with the effectiveness of these vaccines. Finding effective alternatives to stop the spread of SARS-CoV-2 is still a global challenge. Since there is no cure, taking preventive measures is all we can do. The most reliable way to prevent the virus from spreading is by avoiding close contact and washing the hands repeatedly. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommend cleaning the hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. This is especially important if you are out in public places. When soap is not available, use a hand sanitizer with at least 65% alcohol. The CDC also recommends that to wear a facial mask that properly covers your mouth and nose. When worn perfectly, and by large percentages of the people, these masks can help to slow the spread of SARS-CoV-2 by blocking the infected respiratory droplets. If you're a healthy young person, the chances are you might not feel anything even if you have COVID-19. But you could spread it to someone older or someone with a chronic health condition. These people are more likely to face the devastating effects of COVID-19. So stay home as much as possible. If you have to go out, wear a mask or face covering. Masks can help you stop spreading the virus to other people even if you don't know you're sick. They could also partially prevent the virus from reaching your nose and mouth. If everyone seriously starts wearing masks, studies show we could actually slow the spread of COVID-19 a significant amount. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Leave a like if you want to see more of these videos. It really helps the channel out, but for now, I hope to see you again soon.